Hi, so my name is Victoria Lopez, and today I'm going to be presenting on section 5, pages 110 to 122, and also what was on page 194. Okay, so for creating lessons for success, which is kind of what the section that I had to do was about. It talks about how phonics is being taught. It also talks about the certain approaches that there are. So, for example, one of the approaches was a synthetic approach, also known as a direct or explicit method. It uses a bottom-up model of learning to read. So, for example, the first thing they have to do is they recognize the letters, and then they go to the second level of being able to blend words, and then they connect whatever's being read in the text. The sequence, for example, it says letter names are taught, and then the sound and letter related and reviewed. The principle of blending sounds is introduced. Examples of blending unknown words in context is provided to them. So, for example, um, cat, they can't read it, so they go to the next step, and then they identify the sounds in that word, so at, and then they blend the sounds together to be able to form the whole word. The second approach is the analytic approach, also known as the indirect or implicit phonics. Um, For example, the sequence on here is they list the words with similar phonemic element given. So, for example, bought, thought, drought. Certain words like that. The common sound is discovered and the spelling of it, so that and then it is discussed. And then they also point out similarities or what it is that they have in common, and then they will be asked to see how the sound and the spelling are. Like, for example, the letter S stands for the S sound. Another approach is also the tactile kinesthetic approach. Usually, these types of activities involve students who will be moving, using their body to make movement or using their hands. So, tactile refers to touch, and kinesthetic means movement. So, for example, some students might be tactile learners and they'll use Play-Doh or clay to be able to form the letters and trace them with their fingers. And then the kinesthetic learners can be asked to form the letters using their bodies or hand movements, jump when they hear a certain sound to check for understanding, or using letter cards to build words. So, like maybe like a big, giant Scrabble game. There are also stages of decoding: selective cue stage, spelling sound stage, and the automatic stage. In the selective cue stage, readers learn about print and what it does, and there's certain activities that promote it. So, like reading big books aloud, labeling objects that are in the classroom, or through shared or experienced writing. And then to be able to read words, children depend on three cues: random cues, which is anything visual to help them remember, like a smudge on the side of the word, or a thumbprint. Environmental cues, which is what page is the word located on or in, and the distinctive letters that stand out, like the double L or the Y. The spelling out stage is the focus on graphophonic cues to learn about sound spelling relationships and their importance in the letters of words. It's in this stage they learn how to blend, and phonics instruction plays a critical role in this stage. Um, the automatic stage, it's like meaning and phonics cues are used. Fluency should be developed in this stage, and then repeating using sound spelling knowledge to blend words, which enables readers to pay attention to the meaning of the passage instead of the mechanics or what reading is made up of. So, strong phonics instruction, in order to strive for a better classroom in the phonics instruction, you have to promote it in the sense of it being active, social, and reflective. So, the students will need to know what it is that they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing, and their progress. This is also referred to as a metaphonics because it is phonics combined with metacognition, meaning a lot. Um, The goal is for the children to get to the level of comprehension of the text. Therefore, they need to master phonics and be able to recognize words fast and automatic. Some characteristics of strong phonics instruction is maybe instruction that is to the point, simple, and does not last long, especially for young children since their attention span is not that too much. It contains blending instruction. It focuses on reading words instead of actually learning rules. It may include inventing spelling practice. Contains opportunities where learned sound spelling relationships is applied to reading and writing. And automatic word recognition skills are developed. Phonics instructional program failure factors is when the instruction is too abstract, it's like all over the place, or not. It's maybe like not general. Instruction is not connected to what they're reading. There are too many rules that are being taught. Phonics is taught only to figure out unfamiliar words. And then unrelated or less relevant tasks that pertain to reading, such as pointing out pictures or objects in a book, are being done instead of focusing on a letter and the sound it makes. The scope and sequence. Sometimes it's difficult to grasp the order and the sequence, or students have difficulty grasping that concept. So some recommended instruction order that was given was to teach short vowels before the long vowels, to teach consonants and short vowels together so that the words can be recognized as early as possible. Continuous consonants such as like the F, L, M, and R and S should be taught early because blending is easier to grasp with these letters. Scope of skills. So for example, kindergarten should be learning the print concepts, recognition of the alphabet, phonemic awareness, the blending, sense of story, and built world knowledge. First graders should be doing the phonemic awareness, the blending and word building, short vowels, consonants, the final E, long vowel digraphs, consonant clusters, digraphs, other vowels, which is like the double O or the O and the U, verb endings, plurals, compound words, connected text and reading, vocabulary development, and world knowledge. And second and third grade should be reviewing the skills of what first grade is doing, but they're more complex. So complex vowel spellings, affixes, more complex compound words, multi-syllabic words, strategies, connected text readings, vocabulary development, and also word knowledge. Phonic lessons, the do's and don'ts of phonic lessons. The do's are use logical sequence, such as beginning with the phonemic awareness, then sound spelling relationships, which will then progress to the blending practice, and then end with reading and writing opportunities. Provide frequent daily lessons to help them remember and grasp the concept more efficiently and effectively. Create an environment with references like word walls or anchor charts. Begin lessons with what students should know or have known previously. Keep lessons brief and fast, and adjust scope by the priority and what the student needs, or what are the students' needs. The don'ts is have students wait their turn. Instead, use small groups. Avoid immediately correcting child errors, but provide feedback after they realize or they self-correct. Say you can hear the F sound. Instead, explain F as a letter and not a sound. Don't say the letter T makes the T sound. Describe it as the letter T represents. And withhold telling students what you expect them to learn. Don't withhold telling students what you expect them to learn and how you want them to respond to it. The components of a phonics lesson is repeated readings to develop fluency and reading rate to improve comprehension. Phonemic awareness exercises like training such as oral blending to reinforce. Explicit introduction of sound spelling relationship. You provide a word, you use it in a sentence, and then you write it you write the word for everybody to see it. Blending opportunities. Practice blending at home and in class. Word building opportunities. Have students play with sounds and spellings. Controlled text reading opportunities, connected skills taught, and actual readings. Dictation. Provide free writing opportunities to make writing connections. The memory devices use simple, short words. Like for consonants, do not use words that begin with blends. For example, don't use frog because it's like it'll blend. So use fish instead of frog because it's like fog and another word put together. Um, for vowels, choose consonant, vowel, consonant, or consonant, vowel, consonant with an E. The words because children have difficulty finding picturable words where the vowel sound is the first sound. Also, one of the last things that was on my section was about workbooks, and I thought this was very interesting because um, it said that workbooks should not be used as. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Workbooks should not be used as work to keep students occupied. Students develop greater phonics skills by reading. Therefore, if worksheets are provided, review them to make sure that they're getting the full. They're working on their knowledge of what it is, that they're supposed to be doing, or to promote the reading and fluency. After completing a worksheet, allow the students to reread a passage that was previously visited or read something new and have them respond by writing behind their workbook. And to be honest, workbooks are a waste of time only because it's like these workbooks or worksheets are usually given to the students to kill time or to keep them busy, and it should not be that way. This concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.